been focusing on West Virginia for some time. As you all know, with the help of everybody in this room, a couple of years ago, we wanted to match up the two best conferences in the country. Certainly this is in the heart of SEC, but the Big 12 now with the expansion of West Virginia, right at that bridge between the Big 12 schools and the SEC schools. So we've been keeping our eye on West Virginia. And then especially when we looked at the situation, I don't think there's anybody in this room that was at the last time West Virginia played in the Autozone Liberty Bowl, but it was in 1964, exactly 50 years ago. And who remembers where that game was played? Anybody? Anybody?
Philadelphia.
Atlantic City.
Chris Wallace was there.
Who was there?
Chris Wallace was there.
No. Chris Wallace was there? Well, he was a Mountaineer, and I know he's a Mountaineer through and through, but remember that was the game when Bud Dudley came back from World War II, and he lost most of his fellow aviators because they were flying the B-26 over Europe. Wanted to found an institution that could keep the principles of liberty and patriotism going, and so he was there as the athletic director of Villanova, started the Liberty Bowl. There were only 6 other bowl games then in the country, and that's how we get our bell. It's an exact replica, not in size, but it's a 1/4 replica of the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia. It was so doggone cold there in Philadelphia, he said he was going to go on a magical tour of a lot of the cities that did not have bowl games at that time. But he was the interim, the stop on the way was Atlantic City, and as he told the story, they rolled out the burlap and put down sod. This is before anything artificial. It was a little bit squeezed in, and I think there's some great stories from that game. But that game, West Virginia played in that game, and in fact, their quarterback was Ed Pastalong, who was the longtime athletic director who just retired at West Virginia. So we said, wow, what a great situation. 50 years reunion of the West Virginia team, but they've never played in Memphis. And the great state university of West Virginia had never been here in Memphis to play or anything. So that was one of the first signs from the heavens that, West Virginia, Autozone, Liberty Bowl come together. And then, as we said, the University of Memphis has been having a good season, and a lot of people don't realize there's a young quarterback. I think he's redshirting, right, Coach? His name is Clay Holgerson, and he's redshirt. He's not playing a lot, but that's Coach Holgerson's nephew, those of you that follow our University of Memphis football. So we got the coach's nephew playing right here, and then their star quarterback this year at West Virginia, Clint Trickett, is the son of Coach Trickett, who was coaching here at the University of Memphis, and now he's a coach out of Florida State, so there's our quarterback. So the signs are coming together here, but now this is a sign. I'm glad Chris Wallace is here because this is absolutely true. Chris, I need you to verify it. We were having a luncheon meeting at the Belmont Cafe, Dave Lush and George Lapise, a few others. And of course, Chris is pounding the table, so you got to bring West Virginia here. And those of you know West Virginia, he's born in, what's the name of your little town, Chris?
Buckhannon.
Say it again?
Buckhannon.
Buckhannon, West Virginia. And he loves the Mountaineers. On Coach, as you go. So when we got the bill, and of course, the bill came to me. I don't know why these other group of guys, that just announced. And, as the waitress leaves a pen for you to sign it, and I'll be danged, this is the pen that she left. It's a blue and gold West Virginia pen. I said, this can't be happening. This can't be true. So we called her over, and she hadn't heard anything. And he talked. I said, where'd you get this? Well, I just kind of use pens when the customers leave the tables. But out at the Belmont Cafe in Memphis, the week before the selections, there's a sign. So I believe in signs, Father Huron, and this is the only reason they're here. Not because they had a great team this year, they had 75. It was just God was telling me, get West Virginia. But we're so proud to have West Virginia, and to have a university that's never played here is awfully special. And a West Virginia team, and I'm going to let Coach talk about his team, but a team that had done so well and played so well, was ranked in the top 10 for a while, beat Baylor, and had TCU down. They played an awfully tough Alabama team, as we later in their first game of the year, a young team that grew. And Coach Holgerson is one of the real dynamic, creative coaches in America. And you'll hear more from the two stars of the show here about how he and Coach Sumlin crossed over paths. But Coach Holgerson was one of the guys who created the speed, tempo kind of offenses in the country. He was actually the offensive coordinator with Kevin when they were down and just running the scores all over the field at the University of Houston. And he's done a great job. Just 2 years ago, they won the league, champions of the Orange Bowl, and so we want to really roll out and show what the Autozone Liberty Bowl can do. But one of the really great, creative, young genius coaches in the country, let's please welcome the microphone, Coach Alderson. Thank you.